Welcome in to DragRace Central here on Saturday morning at 6:03 in the morning. I'm your host, Randall Shue, and my son Landon is off today, my co-host. He's got midterms, and he wanted to make sure he did good on his midterms. He certainly didn't want me, heaven knows. I've got a co-host this morning, Miss Deidra Trammell. She does the Deidra Report every morning. She is running a little bit late, so we're going to be talking about some drag racing. You got Huntsville going on. There's, I believe I just saw her walk in the door. Anyway, we got Huntsville going on. We've got a big bracket race. Our buddy Larry Martin won up at Holly Springs last weekend. And, yep, good morning, Miss Deidra. You come right here. I've got your headphones already set up. Nope, right here on the other side. This clock will surprise you this time of the morning.
Yes.
Hey, you're sporting your DragRace Central T-shirt.
Yes, it's my debut and my beautiful shirt.
That's right. Put your headphones on and let's get your volumes adjusted, the microphone and all that.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
That's right. Miss Deidra Trammell's in the house. I'm excited to have you here this morning.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you know, when the thoughts of sitting for 2 hours by yourself is kind of humbling.
Mm-hmm.
Here on the radio, it's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
You know, you and I neither one have problems talking for a while, but when nobody else is listening, ooh,
Yeah.
that's kind of tough.
Yeah. Well, you really got more listeners than you think. I've already got messages. Bobby Martin up in Decatur, over at Express, he's already sent a message. We're listening.
Good. Hey, go to work. Actually, turn the radio up and then go to work.
Well, they're driving.
Oh, they're driving?
Yeah.
Well,
Avery
turn the
Express.
radio up.
Yeah. I'm sure they got it on full blast. Good morning.
Morning, guys. You know, I was talking about Huntsville got a big bracket race going on today, and our buddy Larry Martin won Holly Springs last weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's they've had a great. He and the boys have had a great year. I was talking to him last week or so, and he said that next year there's going to be 21 races that pay from $50,000 to $100,000 apiece in bracket racing.
Wow. I need a bracket car again.
That's the truth. Goodness. Trouble is, I would be one of the donators. Somebody's taking money home and somebody's leaving some. It's like going to the casino. A lot of people left money. The reason you got them big old buildings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's actually a better bargain than going to Disney World because Disney World pays out zero.
Oh, I know.
At least casino does pay out some. Hey, 941-1011 is our number. You want to give us a call? We'll talk about some hot rodding. We got something interesting may happen today if we can get it all put together. I wrote a little ditty.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's all you can say. Oh, Lord.
With the eye roll, by the way.
An eye roll. Anyway, we've got MTO Motors brought us. You know, I went over the MTO Motors one day this week, and the 56, the double down, I believe is what it's got. Double deuce.
Double X?
Double deuce. No,
Okay.
they got the double X is a 58. They've got a 56 that is about to fire up. They're plumbing and wiring it now. The car is complete. I mean, to a point where Todd's dad had aligned the front end. He had a straight axle, and he had put his 7 degrees of adjustment in there. That way you won't get that death wobble. You ever had one and had the death wobble?
Well, you know, I've gotten out of the groove before, you know.
No, you're riding down the road. Ford trucks used to be the world's worst.
Or it just drifts and it starts shaking.
It shakes.
Shimmying back and forth.
Death wobble.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. You don't know where to stomp the gas or the brakes.
Yeah, and you have no steering capability.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. Anyway, these straight axle cars are bad to do that. Remember, the Ford had the twin I-beam suspension. They would do it, and I don't know why they would. Anyway, there's an issue, but the car's about ready to fire up. It ought to be, you know, it's a straight shift. You got to shift your own gears, and wave your left foot past the clutch as you change gears. It has to actually operate. You can't use a clutchless.
Yeah, and you got to mention, you know, people who don't know what gassers are, they're raised up in the front end. Yep. Back in the day, people thought that was a good way to get airflow. Yeah, and transfer.
Weight transfer.
And so you've got a car that's already standing up in the air, and then, you know, you get on it, and you're just looking up at the sky.
Yep, the front wheels will be about 2 feet in the air because you got wheelie bars, spring-loaded. They are sprung. They take off and catches on those spring-loaded traction bars or wheelie bars and hopefully keep it from going up too high.
Yep.
But then usually take the wheels off the ground, obviously in first, second, and it'll bounce them in third.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth gear, you don't get a lot of air under the tires. Thank goodness, because you're running 100-something miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today, Dig Street. Is Dig Street still going on today?
Actually, it's December the 9th.
So that and the one at the mountain is the same day.
Late night street fight. And I don't have the flyers pulled up right now in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be around the same time.
Okay.
So you're going to have to pick and choose on December 9th because they were both cancellations from different weekends. And then when they rebooked them, they happened to fall on those dates.
Well, I need to find out where the fast cars are going, and I'll go the opposite place.
The fast cars will be where you're at.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I will be there.
Right.
You know, we talked this week, and, you have decided to be my backup chick.
Yes. But there's a little stipulation on this.
All right, let me set the stage. We're talking go-go boots, booty shorts, and a halter top.
And I will agree to that, even though it's probably going to be down in the 20s and 30s, especially, after 10 o'clock at night.
No, this is going to be at 2 o'clock.
Oh, is it early?
Yes, it's
gates
open at 12, and the race the meeting is at 2, so it should be over by close to dark.
Yeah, well, you've got to remember, unlike these little car girls at the car meets that lay on the cars, I'm old enough to be their mother, so this is what's going to have to go down. Have you ever seen the flesh-colored body stocking?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get one of those and then layer myself with this little hoochie mama outfit. Because if not, I'm going to have to get some extra tall go-go boots to poke all my extra skin in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
so I'll have to get the bodysuit to kind of hold it all together so I'll look, somewhat normal. Because I'm not built like my 9-year-old son, like these little young girls are. They're well endowed on the top, but they look like
they're homemade.
Yeah, and they're built no bigger than my 9-year-old son.
Well, and they hadn't had life yet.
Right. Right.
They still eat twice a week.
Yeah, and just sleep late and go to car shows, and I remember the days. But
I asked a girl, I was one of those things, and the girl up there said, she's in her booty shorts, and I said, what do you do? Well, what is? She said, I look good. Okay, you got that covered.
Yeah, they're beautiful girls. Don't get me wrong. Hey, back in the day, I was more concerned about racing. I wasn't worried about guys or laying on cars or anything like that. But back in my day, it seems like girls were a little more curvier, though. These are, they're so little.
Waifs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you gave Landon a
nightmare.
Oh, it was a nightmare. You mentioned that at the Halloween races, I should come as his backup girl. The look on Landon's face, no, Daddy, please don't, because he knows I'll do most anything. He's, Daddy, please don't do that. I said, I wouldn't do it. I might do that. No, Daddy, please don't do that.
Now, hey, if you would have clued me in, we would have went on the internet, got you an outfit, fixed you up. You would have been a YouTube sensation.
Well, at 6'6" and 230, and I'll limp along, no, it wouldn't have looked good at all.
But that would be the best part, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's not, you want to stand out. That would be the show right there. That would be the show.
Lord, that is not pretty. Oh, my goodness.
But, hey, nobody would ever forget you.
That's the truth. Man, that's tough. So anyway, what have you got for us this morning?
Oh, well, it's kind of slow. But, cars and coffee, bear the weather, go out. They're meeting today. All the car clubs around Birmingham and Alabama are getting ready for a big event tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I got confused on my days. It's so early this morning. But tomorrow's Sunday at the amphitheater, starting at 1 o'clock, they're having a huge car show. It's kind of like a Toys for Tots event. Bring a donation.
Amphitheater.
Yeah, Pelham Parkway.
Okay. The Mountain Amphitheater.
They'll do it out in the parking lot.
Okay.
And all the clubs are getting ready to, come and show their stuff. So there'll be like a lot of club affiliates there. Mustang Club, Mopar Club, the import class, a little bit of everybody will be out there.
I wonder if Mob Inc. will be there.
Well,
let me say, it's Men of Birmingham in nice cars. I'm dead serious. Mob Inc.
Millionaires of Birmingham.
Oh, it is?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, some of the cars they had, somebody's got some duckies.
Oh, yeah.
There's Lamborghinis and Ferraris and F40s and, wow.
I've asked them to come out to some of our events that, I host or promote, and they're always like, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
So they pick and choose where they go to. So, usually
I saw
they
that at
show up-
barbers.
Yeah.
That barbers can handle it.
Yeah.
Mr. Barber knows what money is.
Oh, yeah.
Them boys think they know what money is.
Hey, have you met George? George,
No.
he's a very nice man. He wouldn't be anybody that
That's
you would
great.
expect to own, barbers and Barber Motorsport. He's a laid back,
Well, you got to be a car guy.
He is.
Anybody who has 1,500 motorcycles in your personal collection, he's a car guy. There's some Formula One cars. There's some Can-Am cars. There's military bikes. There's road race bikes, drag bikes.
Yeah.
It's amazing the kind of stuff in there.
And I'm friends with a curator over the car section, John Viviani, and he works out at Barbers, and he takes care of. He's a the only certified Lotus restorer in the United States, I believe.
Well,
If he's listening, he can call in and correct.
that's either good or bad.
Oh, it's good.
Well, you wouldn't be real busy because there's not many Lotuses around.
Well, actually, back during the summer when they had the historics, they had a Lotus reunion, and I met a couple. They were in a Mustang. And we had different car shows going on, and I was organizing the Mustang car show that was there during the historic events. And an older couple come up to me, and they had a Canadian tag, and they were like, "Well, we're down here with the Lotus group." But we had to rent our car because our car wouldn't finish. Do you mind if we park with the Mustangs? And I'm like, no, sure, come on. They drove from Ontario to Birmingham for the Lotus event.
Wow.
It was the North American Lotus reunion or something like that. And so they were just as nice and friendly and so excited to be there. But they had, the rarest cars around, the Lotus cars around.
Well, I have worked on a Lotus 5 and a Lotus 7. A 5 could kind of look like a MG TD.
Yeah.
Open and then the 7 looked like a cigar. Open wheel, 4-cylinder. I did fool some of those. Had some odd deal. You ever seen a 10-millimeter spark plug? Spark plugs are 14 or 18.
Yeah.
It's a size. They have a 10-millimeter. It's a little bitty thing.
Where would you get that? Just from overseas?
Yeah,
Had
it's
to order
something. It's something the English used.
Wow.
So I had a. Anyway, that was just kind of weird. The Lotus 5, I was able to drive it, kind of. I actually moved it around. The 7, I could put it on instead of driving it. All right, here's some music. We're going to take our first break of the day. Remember, 941-1011 is our number here on Drag Race Central. Welcome back in to the second segment here on Drag Race Central. I'm your host, Randall Shield, along with who we got here.
I'm Deidra Trammell. I'm glad to be here today.
That's right. This is my partner in crime today. Landon, my regular co-host, is out doing some midterms for his college, and thank goodness it's him and not me.
I agree.
I was in the top third of the slow class, and I can assure you I have no business in. It was bad. Was on the short bus? No, but I drove it for a while.
Oh, goodness.
That's right. 941-1011 is our number. 941-1011 is the number. I mentioned MTO Motors a few minutes ago. They've been in business 30-something years. They've, on their third and fourth generations of people they're serving there in the East Lake area at 7212 First Avenue North. How about a phone number out there, Deidra?
Okay, MTO Motors is 205-836-0508.
Well, anyway, that's we got that going. We got some real news. How about David Rampy, one of our, actually from Piedmont, in the NHRA, I believe it was Comp Eliminator. I believe it's one of the sportsman classes won the championship again. This is his 12th one, I believe.
In a row? That's
I don't know if it's in a row, but he's David Rampy is the man.
Well, he's got that down pat.
He's got just about got his figured out. Got good funding, and he is one of the very few racers in our area. Even though it is a sportsman class, he does this for a living.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Years ago he had Stouts RV, and how about this? Back in the day, here's your back in the day deal. He used to come last mountain drag racing. Well, Larry Martin and Barry Hammonds considered it was their mission in life to put him on trailer. Both of them would. They had read whatever it took to put Rampy on trailer. Rampy he couldn't come to the mountain because everybody's shooting for him.
They're out for him.
Well, so you know what? That made him a better racer.
Oh, yeah.
If you could win at Last Mountain, you could win anywhere. Because then these guys were serious about it. Because you go to now with the electronics and people become a student of the game. It wasn't they just didn't hope for the best. These guys have done good. You'll have a 501 or 2 and dead on over and over and over. If you have a 3 or 4 package, you probably going to win that round if something don't happen to the car.
Yeah. And a racer like me, I mean, to cut a 50 light, I cut pretty good lights, but that was like once or twice in a lifetime thing for me.
Well, I learned, it's been God, I don't think when it was in the 90s, guys messing with you. I just enjoyed it and all. And a guy come up to me, we was in Huntsville, and a guy come up to me and that I had to run first round. He said, "Look, I've lost oil pressure. I'm down. I'm out." Okay. So, all of a sudden, first round, I'm out of the race mode. I'm fine. I got this handled. When they called first round, I went in and pulled down, looked up. He's there.
Mm-hmm.
He was messing with me. I was not prepared to put me out. Boy, that won't happen again.
Oh, yeah. And also the ones that you did put out, you didn't think were coming back. You always had buybacks.
Not in the heads up, you don't.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So when I was at it, we was at Alabama. It was a heads up race out. I probably run 620s or 60s out there. Anyway, Neil Hawkins, old friend of mine. Neil's a very accomplished racer and incredible talent as a fabricator.
Yeah, I've met Neil before.
Well, whether we qualified, he and I had to run first round. I know I'm fixing to get nailed. I know that, but. Anyway, Tim, the old shoe towing, he was sitting, a bunch of 10 or 15 was sitting around, and he came Neil by, and Neil said, "How you going today?" He said, "Man," I told him, I said, "Neil, I said 420 light's the worst I've had all night long." I said, "Man, I'm on tonight." He said, "Man, that's good." When he walked off, Tim says, "You've never had a 420 light." I said, "I know that, but he don't know that." I had a 23 light my first round, put him out.
Wow.
You got to have a plan.
Yeah, and it's not all about getting down there and cutting your own light. They say you're racing yourself. And that's true. You're beating your own time. You're beating your own...
your reaction time.
Yeah, everything. You're racing yourself.
You got to let go of that button. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what? Deidra, if you remember, you had a good light when you drive past it and it turns green.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it turns green, you're sitting there, boy, that's a bad one. But I've driven past, and I think the front wheels were in the air when I went past it and it turned green. Yep, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Those are fun times.
Yeah.
But anyway, remember, 941-1011 is our number. We don't talk about shoe towing right now. Give the guys out there in Mount Olive a call, 631-0910. If you break down, if they do lockouts, you run out of gas. Here's you a funny story. Shoe towing is a third-party supplier. So what this means is if you got roadside service on your car, if it breaks down, you call in and they call a supplier. So that's what shoe towing is. So one day this guy calls. He calls the thing. We get the call and it says the guy is out of gas, needs 2 gallons of gas, and it's normal to send a wrecker with 2 gallons of gas, put it in their car. That way you can fire it up and you can get you some gas. So the driver got back and do the thing. We got a call. We got a guy out of gas, needs gas. Okay, we got the address. It's the same one. And this is over behind Eastwood Mall. So drove over there and put 2 gallons of gas in his car. 2 more gallons of gas. On the fourth, he did it again. On the fourth call, said, "Look, y'all do realize this guy's getting a tank of gas." And what do you mean? I said, "Look, this will be the 4th time we're going to this man's house putting gas in his car. We're not going." They're really? So the guy's trying to give him a tank of gas.
Hey, you have to admit that's pretty slick, though, because you get free roadside assistance for, especially on a newer car or some kind of warranty that you buy. So, that's kind of slick, though.
Oh, it really is. But some of these people, they work in the system. What's funny with a 2-door wrecker, you can only have 2 riders. I went and picked up a Armada. What is that? A Nissan Armada. Big SUV thing over on 459, and drive up, and there's a whole gaggle of people. And I loaded. I said, first of all, where y'all going? 2 can ride with me. What y'all going to do the rest of you? Well, I think we can all get in there. I said, let me tell you the way it works. The rules say 2 people. I don't break the rules. Well, what are you going to do with the rest of the people? You can't ride in the car that I'm towing. You need to find out. Fortunately, one of them had called her aunt, and they loaded the car up with her, and I took the 2 people in the Armada. The people had, all right, it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
No, it won't. That's just funny. But anyway, give them a call out there at 6310910. Let's give Tim a call. Hey, you got some job openings if you want to go out and, hey, would you like to drive a record, Deidra?
No, I've actually driven big trucks, and I've been the escort driver for oversized loads.
You was an escort?
Not that kind of
Oh,
escort.
okay. Well, hey, that's what you said.
I assisted.
Oh,
extra,
escort service. Oh,
yeah.
Escort service. I've seen him in the 1-800. Let's have fun.
No.
No.
let me rephrase this. It's a lead car.
Use the lead car.
Lead
Okay.
car,
I
yeah.
know what you're talking about. I just love mess with you.
And I own my own business, and it was we would do the big air boxes that go up north for the big power plants, where they were wider than a 2-lane road, and they were
Wide
so
load.
tall that they would have to let the air out of the trailer
Go under a bridge?
to go under a bridge.
Ooh.
Or that's where we would take the entire interstate, and I would drive from here to Canton, Illinois, or Peoria, Illinois, twice a week doing that. And I owned the lead truck and the rear truck and the trailer. And I would rent all that out. I made excellent money.
Cool.
Excellent money.
But anyway, no escorting, huh? Oh,
Not that kind, no. Mm-mm. No.
You had flashing lights.
I
Wait a
had
minute.
flashing lights. Yeah, my job was oncoming traffic. We got a permit. That means that we have the right to the road. But
Paperwork. Oh, my gosh.
But that doesn't mean other people don't have the right. So my job as lead car or lead truck is I would have to have my wide load sign, my flashing lights, and run cars off the side of the road. Oncoming traffic, head
Cool.
on. Yeah, that was my job from here to Illinois is to run cars off the road head on. And as we're going with this wide load.
Hey, I'm going to need a bigger truck. This is going to hurt.
I had a 350 Ford Dually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's big enough truck to do.
Yeah, I mean, I ran hundreds of cars off the road. I'm surprised I didn't die, but it was the most thrilling job I've ever had.
There was a story years ago. Remember the car transporters? They got 7 or 8 cars.
Hot shot.
The big transporters. Headlights went on his truck. He's at night. He got to do something. He thought, well, you know what? I'll get up and turn the lights on that car, the lead car up in the front. So sure enough, he climbs up, turns that light on. He's riding along there, and he come around the curve. And this guy swerved and went off in the ditch. So he stopped and said, "What's wrong? I wasn't running you off." He said, "Man, if I figured you as wide as you were tall, I was going to be in trouble." Yeah, that's tough, ain't it? 941-1011 is our number. We talked about David Rampey has won the Comp Eliminator, and I think I'm saying that right, Comp Eliminator Championship again, but this is the 12th time he's done this.
Awesome.
And I saw him, he was in a Bantam Roadster last time. These cars, they'll take, the Comp Eliminator I don't think has a, it's not like a 890, 990 or 1090 class. It's you run on weight per cubic inch or something like that.
Yeah.
They'll run under their index. So with a setup that's supposed to run 830, if you run 750, some better be faster than you. It looked like he's riding a go-kart with a big motor is what it looked like. I hear some music.
There's some funky music.
You know what? I almost see some daylight outside too.
Barely.
That's right, here 7:30. We're going to go out and take another break here on DragRace Central. So welcome back in to DragRace Central. I'm your host, Randall Shue, along with Miss Deidra Trammell here today. Landon, my regular co-host, is out for midterms. Let's go out. Hey, Deidra, we've got a caller.
Great.
Good morning. Hello.
Hey, Randall. Hey, Deidra.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning. This is Dave. I have a couple of questions for each of the hosts.
Okay.
So, Randall, my question for you, have you ever been surprised and been smoked by a sleeper? And if so, what were you driving and what were they driving?
Oh, I got you one.
Deidra, I know you've owned a lot of Mustangs and you're a big-time Mustang enthusiast. What are a couple of your favorite you've ever owned? Probably not an easy question, I'm sure. And why did you like those particular body styles so much?
All right. Hey, Deidra, you go first.
Okay. Well, I've probably had, all my cars, I've probably had at least, I can't remember all of them, but at least 80 Mustangs from the time I was 18 years old. And I'd have to say my 2 favorite ones, of course, would be my first Mustang. And that was a 1988 Mustang. And the reason why I love that one, it was a Fox body, is because that's the car that I would street race in every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday at the track. And I would drive it back and forth to work all week long.
Hey, and they'd make it too.
Yeah, I mean, most reliable car.
Sure.
I mean, the clutch went out, and all you have to do is park it on a hill and roll it off. I mean, hey, what more could you ask for?
All right, is it my turn?
Well, I got to answer the second part.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
The two. Now, the second one, I'd have to say, was my new Roush. And that is because I love the styling, I love the look. Of course, it's a new car, but the technology that Ford puts into a car today. I mean, I've got a Christmas tree where I can do my own time. I don't need to go to the drag strip. I can do my own Christmas tree and get an eighth mile, quarter mile, 0 to 60 time. Anything you can think of. It's got line lock. It's got launch control. I mean, cars nowadays are built with everything that a drag racer would need. My car's not super fast, but it's fun. And Dave, I think you know, I actually took you for a ride in the Roush. Why don't you tell everybody what you think about it?
Well, first of all, I think the person that was driving the car was very aggressive on the shifter and in the throttle. And also, the car is, I think you're being a little modest. It was a little more than quick. I was in the seat, and it sounded incredible. I don't know. What you do to that exhaust? It sounded, had its own sound to it. It was really loud. It sounded amazing.
Yeah, it's got a little aftermarket work on the exhaust. We won't talk too much about that just to keep my warranty intact. But I do remember looking over at you, and I seen sunglasses flying, a cell phone flying. I look over at you, your eyes are closed, and we hadn't even hit fourth gear yet, 110 miles an hour. And about 130, suddenly I heard little girl screams. So I let out of it, and I did this a couple of times. He got used to it. So we pulled over on the side of the road, and he said, "What are you pulling over for?" I said, "Well, you've got to experience it yourself. I would like you to drive." And he's like, Me drive? I said, "Yeah, but let me explain a little bit. I know you can drive, and you've been in cars and stuff, but this car is a little different. It's got the stiff, heavy-duty clutch. It's, geared really high. You could probably take off in second gear, no problem. Mm-hmm. And it's got the big bare brakes and, stiffened up suspension and stuff like that. So it's going to be a little different. And I'm not making fun of you, Dave. Anybody gets in this car does the same thing. So we take off and we're clunking. And about that time we have to stop, and he hits the brakes, and we're going through the windshield. And I'm just dying out laughing. I said, "I told you it's just not your average Mustang. You've got to learn this car. It's not a car that you jump in and drive. You got to get used to the heavy-duty clutch and the racing suspension and the gears and stuff like that." But he was smiling ear to ear the entire night. And that was the best part to me. When you get somebody in a car like that and you give them joy,
yeah, that's right.
That's the best part.
All right, Dave, here's my deal. We used to run out at Eastwood Mall all the time. This is our back-in-the-day story. And our job was to look for a race. And that's one of the jobs. Looking for a girlfriend for the night was one, and then a race was we looked for a race, and if that didn't work out, then you look for a girl. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of the way it worked. So one night I saw a first generation Camaro going out. At the time, I had a '78 Impala. It's actually Caprice Classic. Had a good motor in it, and because in the day it would run 890s, which that was the thing, pro cars at the time the fastest would run 670s is all they in eighth mile. But the 890 car that you could drive around was actually pretty fast. So we left out Eastwood Mall. I followed this Camaro. Guy had his girlfriend in the car, and had the exhaust hanging out from under the whole deal. So we got it over to Eastwood Mall, and there by the old Chevrolet dealership, you make the loop, put you up. That's the Porto Madrid. Do the loop, put you on I-20, and that'd be heading north. You top the hill, and there's a long bridge. The bridge is, a mile long, Deidra? Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever. Well, as soon as I could, that's where the interstate started. So as soon as I could, when I whipped to the left lane going past him to show him what fast cars look like. When I got to the top of the hill, he's at the other end of the straightaway.
Wow.
That was embarrassing. I looked at, is this thing running? That's the worst I've ever gotten outrun.
Wow.
Well, now you didn't run home to your garage real quick and start hooking up nitrous to go back for a revenge race, did you?
Not that night. I did in a Camaro, and I never did find him. But I probably stay up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, looking for that guy.
And probably nobody had ever heard of him or seen the car either.
Well, I know the guy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
I knew him. But anyway, I got look. I guess he went home because he knew it was going to get ugly here shortly.
He had you. That's all that mattered.
Oh, he got me. I mean, it was a real deal. I still see him around sometime now. Sonny Eppolito was his name.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
He's got a Z car also. I've got a 280Z with a Chevrolet motor now. And that's what he had. That's what he's got now. A super, super nice car. Mine is all one color. How about that? As far as nice, I wouldn't call it nice. But it's fast, though. Hey, well, Dave, we sure appreciate you calling.
Hey, enjoy the show. See you Sunday, Deidra.
All right. See you then. Thanks for calling.
Deidra, that's a lot of fun when people call in and want to know the kind of goofy stuff we've done and actually survive some of it.
Oh, yeah. I tell my kids every day, I said, I did some crazy stuff that if you did now, you would either be dead or in prison for the rest of your life.
Well, you mentioned that here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, or it's been with all those sexual harassment stuff that went on and these improper touching. And, I sure hope I never run for Senate. It's going to be bad. Because when I was young, I'd have been on death row right now.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, Lord. Well, we were, at 18 or 19, different set of rules than when you're an adult, you're in Senate. And
right.
There's different rules. I don't know.
Yeah, and as a woman to be, if I took everything that happened to me as offensive, I mean, I can make claims all day long. I mean, but, you've got to decide what is, really offensive and what could have been.
Well, when I was a kid, there was a lady across the street, elderly lady, come over to talk to my dad. Said there's at night there's been somebody, around my house, and if it goes on, can I call? He said, well, yeah, I mean, I'll take care of whatever it is. She said, now look, I'm gonna let him get in the light and see what he looks like before I call anybody.
Oh my gosh! Decide whether or not.
Oh
to
yeah,
call.
just come on in, baby. Anyway, 941-1011 is our number. We talk about Shaw Building Supply out in the Mount Olive area, 631-8696. And you go out there, and they've got counterintelligence. People behind the counter are smart, Deidra.
Oh, I know.
Anything you need, they'll have it. From starting with sand all the way to trim, to do a complete house, to takeoffs. There's a new word in it.
Takeoffs?
Yep. You take your plans down, do a takeoff, and tell you how much your framing package is going to cost.
Oh, wow. You can't do that at Lowe's.
Well, that's right. That's the reason in your personal service, good quality, and it's they've been out there since the 70s, doing a great job out there in Mount Olive Road. Just give them a call if you need any work done out or did some work out there. And something else they offer. Now, this is something people don't. I need a deck built. And if you're not in that world, finding somebody to do it, you go down and buy your material. Say, look, I need some deck built. Do you know anybody? They'll give you a list of 5 or 6 people that they do business with. That's the ones you won't come and do your stuff.
Right. Not Ray's cousin Bob either.
That's right. They'll send you some good people. So give them a call out there, 631-8696, Shaw Building Supply in Mount Olive. Deidra, I see daylight.
It's getting brighter.
6:43 in the morning. It's going to be in the high 60s today, I believe.
Yes.
I'm not the weatherman, but I just play one on the radio.
Yep.
How about that? But anyway, it's going to be in the high 60s. Hopefully it'll be some, go out to some car shows. You said Cars and Coffee will be going on tonight.
Cars and Coffee today.
This morning.
Today, 8:30 to 12:30. And, like I said, wintertime is hit or miss. Today, a beautiful day. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there. Everybody's gearing up for the big car show tomorrow out at the amphitheater in Pelham. Starts at 1 o'clock. That should be a big deal. It's kind of a Toys for Tot fundraiser. So just bring a toy out. And then we got next weekend, we've got Dig Street, and we've got Late Night Street Fight up at Laster Mountain, and they are both on the 9th.
How about this? Late Night Street Fight is going to be in the middle of the day.
Yeah, and I'll have to look. I don't have the flyer right here in front of me, but I think...
What time Dig Street's going to be?
Yeah, I've got the flyer right here.
And, they don't race backward. They start from about middle of the track and go...
Mid-track.
Mid-track,
Yeah. And, which, I mean, that makes sense, too, but everybody wants that real street
you mean
feel.
Where it will not hook up? You can't break a rear end because it won't hook hard enough to break a rear end.
I mean, you can spin all the way down the track if you want to. Now, Dig Street is going to be starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they'll have their drivers meeting at 12.
Okay.
And they've got several different classes. They're going to have door prizes, 12 and under free, admission $10 to get in there. And, that's about the same for a late night street fight. So this is going to be, what's your choice? Where do you want to go this weekend?
I saw there were some complaints at Street Fighter. They were worried about, some people got too much horsepower. They, well, and then they said, we're going to bring a dyno up. We're going to have 150 to 200 horsepower cars. You know what? When you go street races, if you're not brave enough, don't get out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because, whoever got a bunch of horsepower didn't buy all of it. There's some more out there available.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Deidra, I hear some music. We're going to come back and talk about some more late night Street Fighter and here on DragRace Central, Superstation 101. Welcome back in to DragRace Central. Deidra, we got talking about, before we went on to break, the Street Fighter and the people complaining wanted, going to race it. I don't want to race anybody who's got over 200 horsepower. What? It don't work that way.
What kind of car do you have? Or, if you just buy a stock Mustang off the lot, you're going to have more than 200 horsepower.
They almost caved into some penny weights. We're going to have a dyno, and the cars that'll run from 150 to 200 horsepower, that's the group, and then from 200 to 250 and all this. And they had a 400 above. Well, I hope I'm in that class. Well, I know I am, but that's just, when you pull out there, by gosh, just pull on out there.
That's right. If you want the real street feel, run what you brung.
And hope you brung enough.
Yeah.
If you don't, save your money and go buy some more, because nobody bought it all up. There's still some left.
Right. Take your lumps, tuck your tail between your legs, come back next week, bigger, badder, and ready to go.
Work on that junk all week.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got it run, went to the house and put nitrous on and went back out that night.
Well, even if you're going to throw your car up on a dyno and you've got what do they call it, sneaky Pete, cheater,
yeah,
hidden away, you ain't going to turn that nitrous on.
Smart guys will not show, hey, you only want to win a foot.
Yeah, you don't open your hood. Used to, when you went to the street, don't open your hood, don't open your mouth.
Yep.
That's the two rules.
Well, my little Datsun run pretty good. Got a good motor in it, but I didn't buy the last one. There's more motors available.
Right.
For something you drive around, I don't know if there's any bigger, but
no, not for driving around.
I got a hood full of motor.
Oh yeah.
So
you got it stuffed in there.
Yeah, sure. I got Jimmy calls me. He said I got a 7-inch motor in a 3-inch car.
Oh God.
He's just about right.
Well, it looks like late night street fight. They are running Saturday too, same time, December 9th. They're opening at noon, drivers meeting at 2, $10 for spectators. But I guess somebody had a change of heart because they're only having 3 classes.
Right.
The street class, you got to be tagged, no Lexon, fiberglass limited to the hood, and it's got to have exhaust, full interior, and DOT approved tires.
Yeah, that's a hard tire. Well, a
Drag
radial is a DOT
yeah,
tire.
it's DOT approved.
Yeah, it is a DOT.
You might not want to actually drive it, but it's DOT
They're
approved.
expensive and it won't last long. About 3,000 miles, you need a set of tires.
Hey, that soft compound will eat up on the asphalt.
Hey, but you know what? They'll work.
Yeah, when they hook, they hook. But,
Oh, yeah.
if you drive it around, you ain't going to have no tire life. I almost started to say tread, but you ain't got no tread on them either.
Hey, if you're out riding around and it comes to rain, you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
You better off call a wrecker.
You just slide off the road. There is no traction.
It's like a squeegee's, all that thing is.
Yeah, yeah. And they're going to have a small tire class. It's 28 by 10.5 max. But, they do make the 10.5 Ws.
But that's the latest deal, no Ws.
Well, you can have minus Ws. Back in the day when I was traveling around with, friends that ran the 10.5-inch outlaw class, everybody had Ws, but nobody knew it because you took the tires off.
You sand them off.
Yeah, sand the W off.
Oh, yeah, no big deal.
Because they're not going to measure your tires.
Now, actually, then they got to be so bad. These guys had 1432s and had them printed as 2910.5s.
Right.
I mean, 3110.5s.
Yeah.
Well, there's people with money. You can have whatever you want. This is America.
You have it made.
Yes, that's no big deal.
And that was kind of the death of the 10.5-inch radial car.
So what they did, they made it a 11.8 footprint.
Yeah,
The
for
carcass,
actual
whatever.
measure.
And they run this thing on deal and measured what the out on the ground.
Oh, as it's sitting on the.
When
okay.
you run across, they made a print. 11.8 is all it could have.
Okay.
So what the guys would do is you take a Ziz wheel and roll the tire and sand it off where it fit. Mm-hmm. But then the guys got pro mod cars and put a piece of a stock front end on them.
Just a piece, yeah.
Oh, piece, and it was actually a pro mod car.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from over Steve Kirk from over in Atlanta, Kirk Speed Shop there in the Atlanta area, he did one. It was a pro mod 4th generation Camaro, and they took a chunk of a late model Camaro and stuck over the A arms. It was a pro mod.
Wow.
But now radio cars will outrun them. The technology has changed so much.
Oh yeah. And one more, they're going to have just a motor class, no power adder. So I guess all rules.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm a motor class.
Well, there's your class right there.
Uh-huh.
You got it whooped.
I don't know. I ain't scared, I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be anybody there with more horsepower than I got.
Oh, no. If they're worried about 100 or 200 horsepower cars.
Well, I got that per cylinder, I think.
Yeah, at least. At least.
This ought to be a hoot to drive. Well, on a prepared surface, it's fun to drive. On an unprepared surface, it's like walking on eggs. You got to be careful because it'll get away from you.
Oh yeah.
Now, one thing I've done, I have not put a spool in the car. A spool is pretty unforgiving, and it's the right thing in a drag car, and I know that, but it's pretty unforgiving. You get a little sideways, and a car with a spool will flip over.
Yeah. Won't it snap?
Yeah, it'll snap you. Snap an axle.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But a posi unit was a little forgiving. I still got a posi because mine's just a car. Anyway. I hope we get up there, and I actually posted on there, and that's when I got you started. I posted on their thing. I'm gonna bring the Datsun out. I'm gonna show you what fast looks like.
Yeah, see, everybody gets on the Facebook pages and they smack talk all week, kind of build each other up. So when they get to the track, they're ready to throw down and race. So all week, everybody's smack talking. Well, here comes Randall. Everybody's talking about their 100 and 200 horsepower cars, and Randall's like, I'll be there. I'll show you what a fast car.
That's cute.
Yeah, I'll show you what a real car looks like.
I hope the front end will stay down. I did put wheelie bars on it. I tied the front end down and I got the hood on it now. So there's actually, I made the hood. So it's about 55 pounds of fiberglass. I got to get my buddy Mark Kent. He said he's going to make me one, and it'll be a normal weight. Mm-hmm. I kept adding fiberglass and grinding off the ugly part.
Oh.
Well, it got pretty thick.
Yeah.
I think it'll hold a truck.
Yeah.
So I got stuff hanging out the top of it, too.
Oh, gosh. Those fiberglass hoods, I've had a couple of them, and they've got to be just right. I mean, they have got to be just right. Even if you buy the manufactured hoods, you have to have so much work done to them.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
well, my buddy
grief.
Mark Kent made one. You don't have to his. He made one for a Mustang I had. You're talking about a nice piece. And I learned all kind of cool stuff hanging out with him. They have 1.5 ounce fiberglass, and then they have 3 ounce fiberglass. I guess that's ounces per, whatever size. Yeah. Then they had a honeycomb. So he made the base of it out of 1.5, and then put this honeycomb right in the middle.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then 3 ounce on the bottom. You could stand on this thing. It would not move. That was just a neat process.
Now, the funniest homemade, I don't know what you want to call it, is I was putting on a show out at Barber's Motorsports, and I always encourage everybody to come to the car show, cruise in, drag race, bring what you have. Get out there, bring what you have. So I did a mid-build, like somebody building a car class, and it was a car show, and the ugliest car contest.
Uh-oh.
Along with the show cars, just to bring everybody out. So we had quite a few people enter the ugliest car contest. And so I come across this Fox Body Mustang, and the guy, we're doing judging, the guy raises the hood. He has covered his entire engine in fiberglass.
Yes, his engine cover.
He covered everything. There's no access to anything. And
he got a sealed engine compartment. That's what they call it on expensive cars.
And it wasn't like, it was like a piece of flat sheetrock or something like that, where you're looking at a clean line.
He poured it in there?
He poured it on the top of each part or component of the car. So I don't know if it dripped down like in between.
Of course, it's going to drip. It's liquid.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's like built up in between like the the block or in between the valve covers and the intake. I mean, I don't know if the whole car.
So serviceability would be bad.
You would have to have a chisel and a hammer. So he was my top choice for winner, and he was very offended by that.
Oh yeah, he thought he had it kicking.
Yeah, but he entered the ugliest car contest, so I don't. He took home a trophy, so I just don't know what to say.
Hey, that's better than end up in the ugly girlfriend contest. That would be bad.
Yeah.
I saw the luckiest guy run. He won $181 million. He was kind of homely. He won got a new girlfriend. All right, we're going to be out here top of the hour, Superstation 101, Drag Race Central. Welcome back in to Drag Race Central. I'm your host, Randall Shue, along with Miss Deidra here this morning. Hey, Miss Deidra, we need to talk about the home place.
Yeah.
Two locations to serve.
Yeah.
They're in Warrior and the one on Pinson Valley Parkway. Have the phone number out there.
The home place in Warriors on Highway 31, and their number is 543-6556. And you've also got their second location at Pinson Valley Parkway, and their phone number there is 681-6226.
Now, our buddy Joey up there, you said he's on Power Nation?
Power Nation, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's going to be on, that's Sunday mornings on Spike TV.
Yeah, I think the next, I can't remember when they told me, but I think it aired the 1st of November, and I want to say around the 1st or maybe the 9th. I'll have to go back and check it. They're going to re-air it, and you have Joey, I believe it was Joey Tidmore, and I can't remember. I haven't watched it. Ken Rainwater
They
with his
redid
dad.
Ken's dad's car, is that right?
Yes, the twin turbo.
55 Chevrolet.
55, yes.
And that thing I think it was a 5-speed, and they would when the big thing around here when Super Chevy was in Atlanta, they'd take off, and I think there would be some people who thought they were fast, and on the way to Atlanta. Of course, the Atlanta Dragway is 85 miles on the other side of Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I know.
In Commerce, Georgia, but it's up close to Athens, and anyway, several people get their feelings hurt, go try to outrun a hot rod. Some of these hot rods are serious.
Oh, yeah. I used to go to Memphis to the world's fastest streetcar shootout every year, and I was just amazed. That was way back in the early 90s.
And that's when they had to take a drive, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have to take a cruise. You have to drive.
Was it 25 miles?
Yeah. I mean, you have to go. I mean, sometimes they loop, and then sometimes they'll go out. But I think they loop it up at Memphis.
Orlando did the same thing. There's a guy with a John Billy Edwards, I believe was his name, had a 7/8 scale 66 Impala. I was 66 Chevelle. Had a alcohol blown, motor in the thing. Well, those things would use lots of fuel. Well, he would stop, they'd fill it up, and he'd take off, and there's a guy pumping fuel in a thing on a 4-wheeler and would chase him down. And I think in 12 miles he used 20-something gallons. Oh, my God. Oh, it's idling things, just spitting.
The alcohol, I mean, it's just vapor.
Just spitting it, yeah. They had to change, when they got through, they had to change oil before they run it.
So much in the oil, spilled over in the oil. But, yeah. David Crouch, I don't know if many people know him.
Yeah, I know him.
He's DC Motorsports. I think he's somewhat involved with the Street Outlaws.
Okay.
That scene right there. I've only got to know him, the past couple of years, but all three of them, he had an international shop truck, and they built it, and during the show, they put it on the dyno and pulled some numbers and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's, three of the biggies around here, and they're on Power Nation, and I'll try to post what time they're coming on for the next show, for the replay on the show.
Power Nation comes, there's Extreme Off-Road, and then Horsepower TV, and Muscle Car, and there's several.
Yeah. Like Power Block, they stopped doing that. Yeah.
That's a group of, they advertised for a on-air host one time. So I applied for it. I thought, I can do that kind of stuff. So I applied. The trouble is you have to actually move to Nashville. You could not commute. It's not, that wiped me out. I'm not moving.
Yeah.
Nashville's a great place, but it's not Mount Olive, Alabama. How about that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, it'd be fun for, just, for kicks to do it, but,
Mike Galley.
Yeah.
What was it, Mike Galley? What was the other?
Mike Galley is the
one of, and the
he's
other
the main guy. Yeah, I don't know the other guy, but
Mike
Galley
came and stayed with Ken Rainwater one weekend and went to the races with him in that big old toter home. Remember that thing? It's like 104 feet long.
Yeah.
and they had the pictures of them riding down the road in that thing. Man, it's like they got a house
Oh,
riding
yeah.
down the road.
They got a nice house
Oh, yeah.
riding down the road.
Well, they had their own living quarters. The trailer had living quarters and shop area. Mm-hmm. The whole thing was huge.
Yeah, they call that the toy hauler.
You got that right.
Yeah.
104 feet from bumper to bumper.
And they were probably pulling a trailer with it, too.
Yeah, but it had a condo unit toter home, and then they had a
The slide.
had a 53-foot trailer behind it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness, that thing was some kind of huge.
But they make the toy hauler now, which
Yeah.
you can get in any size.
Like
which
a camper, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can get the big bus too, and
Uh-huh.
you know how the two stack car haulers
stacker,
are,
uh-huh.
but they do that with the back end of the motorhome. Like
Okay.
they slide the, you know how the slide ends work
yeah.
on the campers.
Uh-huh.
The I can't remember. I think the car goes in the bottom, and the garage part goes up, and the car slides under the garage, all in one unit. You don't have that second trailer.
Wow. Well, running the kind of cars that take so many people, you got to have places for the crew to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
feed them. They bring the grill out. The grill had his own zip code. That thing was huge.
Is it one that they pulled out like the side of the motorhome?
I think it had a trailer hitch on. You pull it out the back.
Oh, you pulled the whole grill.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
this thing was probably 8 feet wide.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a cool one. Let's go out to a caller. See who we got. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
What can we do for you?
Hey, good morning, Deidra. Good morning, Randall. How are y'all this morning?
Excellent.
Good morning.
Good. First of all, Randall, I'd like to thank you for having a girl racer on.
Hey,
Very excited
Deidre's
about
my
that
buddy.
This morning.
We have the best time. I hope you can tell that.
I can. Y'all are doing a great job.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions for Deidra.
Okay.
All right. My name is Cindy, and I come from a racing family out of the Mount Olive area.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know what was the first car that you ever drove down the track? And
Well-
what was the feeling?
Well, the first car I probably drove down the track was probably my 1980 Cutlass, just for kicks, just to do it. But I went to my first street race at 8 years old with my cousins, and I was driving their cars by the time I was 15 out on the street. So then when I got of age, I had that Cutlass. When I turned 17 or 18, I got the 88 GT. And, I mean, it was just exhilarating. So by the time I hit 19, I had a 69 Pro Street drag car. It ran, low sixes. And the thing about that was back in the day we had powder puff racing. Do you remember that?
Oh,
The
yeah.
women
I
were,
do. I remember. Uh-huh.
Women were encouraged to race in that. No, not me. I bracket raced in the classes with the men. So every time I would win, I'd get cussed out, yelled at. People would refuse to race me, get mad, leave the track. That was every weekend. And I loved every minute of it.
It's very exciting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Cindy, are you hard to work this morning?
Not yet, but
Oh,
get
yeah.
to it.
Deidre,
Yeah.
Cindy's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
She thought she was going to sneak one in on me.
Hey, she's doing a good job.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
Cindy, well, we appreciate you calling. Keep listening to us. We're having fun.
will do.
All right, thanks.
Good job,
See
you
you.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Deidra. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's these people sneak in and get talking. Last week, there was a guy called in. He said, "I've got a Jensen Interceptor." I said, "Well, hey, Robert." He said, "Huh?" He didn't think I knew him. That was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had a lot of fun here. 7-Eleven. It is daylight outside.
It is.
You look over your shoulder. It's just this daylight out there, and it's getting there.
It's getting there.
I hope it's warm enough to actually break the car out of the basement, and if nothing else, just let the motor warm up.
Just go out and sit in it and just...
Pretend I make
Yeah.
car noises.
Yeah.
That's what Roger Banks when I was a kid. We was in Mount Olive Elementary School. Roger thought he was a motorcycle. So he'd go up down the hall with his hands up in the air like he had an ape hanger. But when he was going down the hall, he was getting it. He turned the curve and run into the principal.
Oh, my God.
Back in the day, we talk about back in the day, I was on the way to town one afternoon, and I got down to, where was I at? In North Birmingham. And when you come around where the high school is, Carter High School, come around and you drop off into Birmingham.
Right.
I saw something that I wasn't sure what it was. And wheels are sticking out. Something looked bad. Well, I kind of sped up to see what it was. There was a Ford Festiva. That was the cheesiest, keebiest car ever. But what I was seeing was he had like a Mustang rear end, so the complete tires were out from under the car. The car and 4 inches of axle out from under the car. And when I passed it, it had a V8 in it. It had some jacked up exhaust. The radiator was wired to the front bumper. I'm dead serious. And this guy in there, he had a long-haired guy with some funny glasses on, with headphones. He was kicking to the music, cruising, and that's got to be the worst conversion I've ever seen.
Wow.
But it was a V8. He's running about 35 down the road.
I bet it was roaring.
I bet the vibration was atrocious.
Oh yeah.
Because some of this stuff requires a little bit of
lot.
skill. Like
Yeah.
the drive shaft needs to be balanced. Let's go out. We got another caller. Let's go out. Who we got here? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Excellent. What can we do for you?
I've been listening to y'all show for the last couple months, and I had a question. I wanted to see about taking my grandson to some of the races. Do they ever have finals on Saturdays?
Yes. Locally, everything we have is Saturdays.
Do they all stay out to 1 a.m., or are they ever done at a normal hour?
Oh, yeah. Now, this race we got coming up next weekend at Alaska Mountain, gates open at 12 o'clock. The driver's meetings at 2 o'clock, and they'll be out by dark.
Yeah, and kids 12 and under are free.
Okay, well, that's why I want to go. I want to start my grandson and getting involved with this or seeing it.
Yeah, now this is this is the crowd. There's some races come on you wouldn't want to bring your kids to.
Right.
This is one you would want to bring your kids. Your wife would not be an issue. Nice people.
Yeah.
Everybody's having fun.
I carry my kids to this particular group at Lasker Mountain.
Yeah.
Like you said, nowadays with things going on, you can't always go to the mountain like when I was growing up. But guarantee you, late night street fight coming up December 9th. Gates open at 10. They start racing at 12. Very safe, very family friendly.
Fun. Everybody up here is smiling, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
No yang. Oh, hey, we may yang about some cars, but it's in good fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to know. I appreciate it, and I appreciate y'all's show. I love it every week. So y'all have a great day.
Hey,
thank you.
I want you to know we're having more fun than you are. This is a blast. Thank you, man. Well, anyway, this has been a lot of fun. I was going to try to do my Christmas Carol this morning. I don't know if it's going to work out.
Maybe you should record it and play it during break.
You think so?
Yeah. Next week.
That is scary.
Yeah, so you won't have to do it live. You can just hit the
I
button.
can't sing. I don't know what this is going to be. Anyway, I hear some music in the background. We're going to go out and take this break. And here on Drag Race Central, Superstation 101. Welcome back into Drag Race Central. We just had a caller said the boat ramp at Smith Lake Park is closed. And actually, I know something about this. They have dropped the water level. It was down about 15 feet. Did you see the video of the wrecker they found?
Yes. Yes.
That was funny. A guy in a boat hit a wrecker.
Yeah.
Now let me. That sounds bizarre.
The big heavy duty.
Yeah, like a 16.5 ton boom wrecker. He was the water's way down because they're doing maintenance, and adding some boat ramps there at Smith Lake Park. And I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but anyway, a guy in a boat hit a wrecker. He's trolling along the edge and bumped something. Looked down, there's a wrecker under the water. So they had this company come up here and pull that thing out. Did you see the video?
Yes, I saw the video.
That's the coolest thing.
Yeah, they said the air was still in the
tires.
It was gently setting. It wasn't wrecked. It was just setting on the bottom of the lake.
When in the neutral, that baby just kept getting deeper and deeper. And of course, on this side of the lake, it's not that deep. You go across the actual
That's the
creek.
shallow part.
The creek side is on the other side.
But it was in the main channel.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Because you can imagine running along about 50 mile an hour and hitting a boom off wrecker with your outboard. Oh my goodness, it's going to shear the bottom of that thing off.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they got it cleaned up, but anyway, they're doing maintenance, adding some more boat dock there at Smith Lake Park. So I'm glad they called in, and we do want to hear this kind of stuff. We're glad to announce it anytime we hear it.
Well, they said there were no skeletal remains.
Oh yeah, the guy. Is anybody in there? He said, "No, I looked."
So they got the name. The name is on the internet, but they said they called the phone number and it's been disconnected. And as of now, it was last tagged in 2009.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're unable to contact the owner, so they're going to scrap it out. They said.
Oh yeah, the has statute of limitations run out? Mm-hmm. 09? Yeah, 8 years. if that thing was stolen, and I know the hood was off of it, I don't think.
But there's no reports of a stolen record.
Oh, there wasn't?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
So I don't know. It's a mystery.
Somebody could have said,
Insurance,
hey, somebody could have
something.
said, hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah. But, right there at Smith Lake Park, they would have had to have used a ramp right there. I mean, I
No,
don't think it would have
no.
carried.
Yes.
You think so?
That thing weighs 18,000 pounds. You let it go, and it's a slight grade, and it would just continue to go till it got to a place where it would go uphill.
Okay. Okay.
It was, yeah.
I would imagine it was so heavy, it just straight to the bottom and just stay.
Well, it is the bottom. Remember, the bottom is a slat. Remember, that's where the swimming area.
Yeah, right there, the little beach area.
It just keeps going down and down and down.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is
Crazy.
See, and this company go in. They go in and recover stuff that has fallen in the lake.
Yeah.
So they got divers and
they got to do like a hazmat cleanup because it went down, no telling when, but they still have to recover, like, I guess,
All
the
the
soil and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
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 That's funny. I had a guy call me one time. He said, "Hey, of course, I know everybody." He said, "Hey, you know anybody does any diving?" I said, "Well, yeah." He said, "I need a diver." This guy did demolition stuff, so he was going to demolish this big dock down on Warrior River. Well, that's no big deal. He said, "Yeah, but being a navigable waterway, we have to document that all the bottom is clear." So they cleaned it all up. They had divers go down and grid. They gridded a map, and each one of the grids they mark it off as they went across it to prove that they had.
With what is it, sonogram?
No, actually, they had a diver go down and actually swim. Oh yeah, you see, in Warrior River, I bet the visibility is like 8 inches. So you had to see with your hands.
Well, do you remember right there at the bridge right there at the Warrior River as you're going to Jasper on 78?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when they pulled that car, which it's not that deep right there, and they pulled that car out that had wrecked back in the 60s? It was a man and a woman and their 2 kids still in the car.
Ouch.
Were
they dead? No.
They were still there, but they were not living. But no, I mean the car had been down there in shallow water for that long.
Then the water went down and they saw it.
Right, because it was right there at the bridge. So what happened is they probably missed the bridge and went off in the water, and nobody ever saw it.
Wow.
But it had been down there for that many years.
Well, I had an incident at the bridge one night when we went out to Bama Dragway when it first opened up. We out there a bunch, and one night we went one of my cousins hanging on the fence. We watching the cars. My car was broke or something. Anyway, we watching cars and we just cutting up. And I as an adult, I certainly am not a skirt chaser. Never have. I've done all. When you're growing up, that's one thing. As an adult, never ever. Mm-hmm. Well, me and my cousin standing there talking, and I looked, and there was a woman standing right beside me, a lot closer than you and I are sitting. Mm-hmm. I don't know this lady. She said, "Hi." I said, "Hi there." She said, "I just want to let you know how much fun I had at down at the river the other night." And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? She said, down at the river. I said, "Ma'am, I don't know who you think I am, but it's not me." And I said, "I don't drink, and you're pretty. I would remember, I can assure you. But I don't know who you think I am, but that is not me." It made the woman mad. I don't know whoever it was, I don't know what he did, but it wasn't me. That was kind of an unusual thing.
She was probably embarrassed after that.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because somebody got a little jiggy with it, and it wasn't me.
Yeah, because if you say go down to the river at night.
And they have a place they go down, under the bridge, and there's a
parking area.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big area people go down and party.
Yeah, make out, party, hang out under the bridge.
Submarine race is what those were.
Oh, my gosh.
The submarine races, yeah. Anyway, that's neat. We found all kind of cool stories at the lake. Also, hey, they have drag racing at the lake.
Now I hadn't been to the lake. I've been up to Highway. Was it 5 or 13 up and headed toward Winston County?
That Highway 13 is where the I-22 is. They used to street race up there.
Yeah, that's where I used to go to street race.
Well, there's 2 brothers used to come down and country as a turnip green. Let me tell you. Anyway, they got talking about wanting us to come up there and race. So one of the guys we was hanging out with went up there and raced. And he said, "How far you run?" He said, "We run 8th mile." Their 8th mile was 1.5 miles.
Oh my gosh.
This boy named Philip, he said, my gosh, you could race and stop, and race and stop, and race and stop. He said, they'll take off and just run till the car quits accelerating.
Oh, yeah. Just go and go and go.
There's a long straight, right when you get off the I-22 exit.
Yeah.
You get off right there at the Eldridge National Bridge, they turn left, that straightaway is a mile and a half long. That's where they was racing.
Well, this is way before they built I-22.
Oh, yeah, that's
when
where
I
this
went.
was.
This was at like some little abandoned gas station, and it was a long straightaway, but at the end, like you said, you kept going and going, and then you would drop off a hill, and then you'd have to go all the way down this hill and then drive all the way back up. And, you know, which I've only went out there a couple of times, and, you know, it was fun and all, but it wasn't like the streets of Birmingham. That's a whole different animal.
Yes, it was. You know, light to light. Their light to light was, it might change counties before there's another light.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing out there. No gas station.
We went to Sylacauga. Actually, a friend of mine lived in Harpersville. Wanted me to come down. He said, we got a place to go racing. I had a 79 Camaro. So we went to his house and unloaded. And I said, well, how far is it? Because I had like a 8 or 12 gallon fuel cell in it, whatever it was. And, you know, I don't need to, you know, these things are not very fuel efficient, and I don't need to go very far. He said, it's just up the road. Okay. So at Harperville, you go through the four-way, you go down about half a mile on the left, that's the road he lived on. So we came out of there, turned left, we riding. We went to Sylacauga. We got to Sylacauga, took a left, went out past the school. You got past the school, probably at 2 miles, there were 2 abandoned gas stations. There's probably a mile and a quarter between the 2 gas stations. And we got down the little parking lot. I said, where we race? He said, we go up there and we race to here. I said, man, I can't race that far. I didn't have a 373 gears.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how fast you'd be going? So anyway, we got us a race up. And I've had my harnesses on, put my fire jacket on, my harnesses, had my helmet on, got ready to go, and the police passed. Surely I wouldn't be racing sitting there with a fire jacket and a helmet.
Nah. You're just comfortable.
I was just being
Safety.
extra safety. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I went down there and put my car up. Man, they were going to put me in jail.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do that.
Well, you know, I'd go anywhere in street race, and we got invited to go to right across the Alabama-Tennessee border. You know, you got to come. So we drove.
Ardmore?
It was street racing, so I can't remember. I only went up there once.
There's Ardmore, Alabama, and Ardmore, Tennessee.
It was in Tennessee because we crossed the state line. And so we get up there, and there's like a little town, but you had to take this little mountain road to where they street raced. And once you got up there, it was a good straightaway. And there were, I mean, you know how Birmingham is. I mean, they might be 3,000 spectators or used to the street races. There was more than that. They were
nothing to do.
I'm telling you, they were lined up. They said you didn't have to worry about the police, anything like that. And there were houses, and people in the houses were sitting on their porch watching street racing.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, because the houses were right there on the road.
Did you ever go over to downtown? You know, we leave out of Miss Winters and go north up here where the power company maintenance facility. Behind it was a place called Cash and Carry. At Cash and Carry, that's about 7th or 8th north. Anyway, at Cash and Carry.
But those are those little short streets. They don't carry all the way out.
There was a road went beside Cash and Carry, and it backed up to the freeway.
So, under the bridge, yes. You started under the bridge.
So we're in a neighborhood. This is on the west side. And anyway, we up there, it's probably 2 o'clock in the morning. As, 4 or 5 cars went up there. Everybody's revving the cars up. Well, instead of the neighbors being mad, these women were out there in their Momo nightgowns.
Their moo-moo.
Oh, they needed moo-moo, too. Betting. They had them old scoot house shoes on, their moo-moo, and they out there betting just like it's a regular street race. And these old women out there betting. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, I don't think I ever raced down there because I don't remember anything like that.
Because, as I aged, I got more and more conscious about
people.
Being stuck in somewhere. I would never park where I couldn't get out because the police run in there. If they're busy, you can sneak over and you can get out of there. If you get blocked in, you're blocked in, and they'll send the popo to come see you.
Oh yeah. Like I said, hey, I've had my car impounded before, so
I was fortunate. I never got a ticket street racing. I never got in any trouble.
I didn't get a ticket, but I had to pay the impound fees, and they canceled the ticket out.
Oh my goodness! All right, we're going to take the last the half-hour break here on Superstation 101 Drag Race Central. Welcome back in, Drag Race Central. Deidre's been a fun morning, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I always enjoy being here.
We're going to talk about MTO Motors. They help us come here. Hey, you know, somebody we hadn't mentioned. What's the number out of MTO?
MTO 836-0508, Mr. Todd Oden.
That's right. He's a gasser driver. You know, somebody else we hadn't spoken is Wholesale Transmission brings us Last Mountain Dragway.
Mm-hmm.
They'll bring us get us on that, help us come on there because Todd does a great job. All of our sponsors, we are so proud to have all these guys, and we're going to add some here as we go along. At Wholesale Transmission, they're going to all your transmission needs. You know, some of the transmissions actually have a computer inside the transmission.
Mm-hmm.
They can diagnose and treat all them things. Goodness, these things done got complicated.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about the other day, you know, the new cars, they're not, you don't have, you know, first, second, overdrive, things like that. Or you do, but the car dictates what gear it's in.
It decides.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you are not smarter than it is.
No.
It can think pretty fast. Because, you know, I told people that the only difference between now and in the 60s, we're doing things with electricity we used to do with vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly the same thing, but it's just really, really fast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, 6-speed, 5-speed cars are obsolete.
And it's right. It's going to be 10-speed. GM and Ford is...
Ford's already come out with a 10-speed automatic.
That is a GM and Ford conglomeration.
Right.
They came out with it. And,
2018 Mustang has the first 10-speed.
I had a 10-speed bicycle. Is that the same
me
thing?
Too. Yeah. It's probably not as much work.
You had to pedal it. These new ones, you don't have to pedal these things.
Mm-mm. Just sit back and relax.
Relax.
Yeah.
The hyper cars, it's gotten to be it's just amazing, all the stuff. Have you seen the DeVale 16?
No.
That's something coming out of Dubai. Those
guys in Dubai are not afraid of anything.
Well, they've got enough money, it really don't matter.
Yeah.
Steve Morris has built this DeVale 16 engine. And I don't think in their language that's the devil, but it's DEVEL 16. It is an LS, looks like an LS motor, only it's got 16 cylinders.
Wow.
4 turbos. It made on a street boost. It made 3,700 horsepower. Race on race gas. That was a race street gas also 93 octane. On race gas, it made 5,007 horsepower. This is going to go in a production car. They're hoping to be the first one to run 350 miles an hour.
What is the price tag on a car like this?
If you got to ask, it don't matter.
Okay,
you won't be.
I'll never be in one.
Craigslist. I went and buy a DeVale 16 on Craigslist. Auto Trader. That'd be a funny old. Used to get the old. Did you ever buy Auto Trader?
Oh, every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to buy anything, but I had to see what was for sale.
Well, you know, I was always buying and selling. I've had a couple hundred cars. I keep three or four cars all the time, and that's the way that you sell a car. You come down here, downtown Birmingham. They take your picture, put it in Auto Trader. Well, I put one of my Mustangs up for sale. I mean, it sold 2 or 3 days. That was it. I was still getting calls a year later.
Yes, that was a great. And now that it's online, it's so much better. No, it's not. I'm gonna go into the store, pay $1.25 for it, and go home and give me some good reading. Mm-hmm. Look at all the pictures. I love that.
Oh yeah, I miss it too. I mean, because you could go over and over and just look at it.
Oh yeah, and by the time the next week come out, you just about wore the pages out.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, all in the back was the parts for sale.
Yeah.
There was some hot rods in the parts and some
like a classified.
Yeah, right in the back of it. There's all the the nice stuff and regular cars in the front, but all the cool stuff is in the back.
Yeah,
we had to go see who's trying to sell their junk.
Mm-hmm. And that's before we had digital photography. So, like I said, you'd have to come downtown, right down the street.
Miss Wright was her name. Well,
I can't remember.
Actually, in-guesser, Marty Wright was an old friend of mine. His mom was the photographer for that. She was married to a guy named Bill Ingesser, who was Big Bill. Nice folks. Big Bill was did some movies with Jerry Reed and Burt Reynolds. He was the one in the movie Gator. His head was riding above out the sunroof of a Lincoln Mark V or Mark IV, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But Bill, great guy. He was so funny. He said, when I go into a restaurant, everybody looks. He said, you think I'm the only guy in there 7'4"? Yeah, he was a neat guy. But anyway, Marty's mom was a photographer. She come out on location, and that was fun stuff.
Yeah.
And these people who have recently got out of college, all these techno geeks, got it on. Oh, it's available online. I don't care. I want a book.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the car online, And it's okay. The Auto Trader was a real person that posted this. Now, if you go online, even if it's Auto Trader and you're looking for a car, it's like copied onto other websites or other pages and stuff. So you don't know if you're really looking at that car with that owner who posted it or some third party person that's trying to make a buck off of it too.
That's right, and it's not exactly as it appears.
No, it's not.
Hey, the photography was such an Auto Trader. There wasn't a whole lot of fluff. It was that old. Remember that old brownish looking paper? And it was, but there were colored photos in there.
Well, I did it before color photos.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So you'd have to put the color of the car, in the description, and then eventually they went over to color.
Okay. Anyways, I just missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that. And something else I missed, Deidra? Suzuki Man. Suzuki Man TV. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was so awful, but it was so bad you had to watch it.
Yeah.
He had a 30-minute infomercial talking about Suzukis.
Mm-hmm. Right down there in Roebuck.
Yes,
yeah.
Suzuki Man.
And he'd get the little hot girls out there stand by the cars and stuff.
He drove a Corvette, but...
Yeah, yeah.
Because he was making some jack off him of Suzukis.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he was selling the crap out of them.
He was. If you wanted a car, he'd put you in one. Repo it, he didn't care. He'd sell it again.
Oh yeah, same price.
Oh yeah. Well, he was making some jack down there.
Oh yeah, same price.
But,
yeah.
All that stuff they got in, but the king of them all was Jim Skinner.
Oh yeah.
Jim Skinner was a master at selling. The Cars so Cheap makes his liver quiver, and he is standing there in a barrel. He had lost his shirt, so he had a 55-gallon drum. Or a wooden drum that he is standing in. I lost my shirt selling cars.
Well, hey, Ford Taurus, $999.99.
Oh yeah.
You don't remember that commercial?
$99.99.
Yeah, and 99 cents.
And 99 cents.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it over there.
Yeah, you don't remember those commercials?
I don't think
Taurus,
so.
$999.99.
Wow.
Come down now, and it'd be like a new 5-year-old Taurus. Brand new, never been titled.
Oh, it just hadn't been titled.
Yeah, but they were like 5 years old. That's why they were $9,000. But I have a little story about Jimmy. I got to know Jimmy over the years because I've bought, Cobras. I bought my Bullet off the showroom floor. I bought a bunch of cars off the showroom floor. And he also, the old skating rink, I forgot what the name.
That's the Skate Haven.
Yeah, that's where he kept his private collection.
Oh, yeah?
So every once in a while I'd buy one of his private collection cars, and I bought an 87 Mustang LX T-top car, limited production car, and I forgot how much I paid for it, but I'd bought 3 cars that day, and I was buying the 4th, and I was like, I don't have any cash, so this is something I can't really buy it. I'd have to finance it because I spent the cash on the other. He said, I got you covered. So he went and made a phone call and come back, and this was in 2001. And I'm buying an 87 T-top Mustang. Get on the phone with Ford Credit. They financed an 87 Mustang for me at New Car Financing. So when I went to the grand opening of Town and Country Ford, where Edsel Ford and all them came out, the head of Ford Credit was there. And I said, let me ask you a question. I said, nobody ever believes me that in 2001 I had an 87 Mustang financed with the because what's the limit, 5 or 10 year old car? Yeah, you can only finance a car at a New Car Financing. It has to be a new car, and it's only like 5 or 10 years old. And he said, we have favors we do for our good customers. You're talking about Jimmy.
That's right. Hey, let's go out to a caller. Good morning. Hello.
Hey, Randall.
Hey.
Chuck Wicks.
Hey, Chuckles.
Hey, you was talking about Jim Skinner and all that. I'm old enough to remember the commercial for Bill Strange Dodge on Roebuck Parkway. It was no deal like a Strange deal.
Oh, yeah. How about Big-Hearted Eddie?
There you go. Yeah, I do remember that.
Big-Hearted Eddie. He'd sell you a car. Hey, you'd crank it up and get out of the parking lot. If it died out in the street, that's your car. It ain't mine.
Yeah. But the guy that come pick it up when you missed your first payment wasn't Big-Hearted Eddie. It was his cousin, Guido.
Guido Sarducci, come get your car.
Put a hurting on you, too, I bet.
Randall.
Hey, Chuck, I use the old thing. You told me one time that the doctor told you, you had some health problems and not to eat anything you couldn't see through. So you went and bought you a dozen donuts.
They got a dozen of them around.
Hey, you know what? Hey, it's what the doctor said.
That's it.
Hey, did you hear Clifford Bagwell on here a few weeks ago?
Well, no, I did not.
Oh,
I
man.
seen on Facebook where he was talking about being on there, and I had missed you that morning.
Well, we talked about throwing the chocolate cake. He's the chocolate cake toss champion of the world. If we ever get that in the Olympics.
Tell me about the cake on the sign.
Yes, cake on the sign. And he was actually the person who did it.
I understand. All right, brother. I got to go to work.
All right, Chuck. Good talking to you, bud.
Bye-bye.
That's a childhood friend. We've been friends for since elementary school.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's been fun. But he's quite a character. One heck of an alternator guy too. He built alternators by the hundreds and hundreds. He's working at the Birmingham Race Course now.
Oh.
And I told him, I said, I bet you when you went out to work out there, those people have never met anybody with the skill set you have. Because if you need it done, you call Chuck, your problem went away. Not many businesses have somebody like that. And they don't care what it is. Hey, Chuck, you do it? Yep, I'll be back.
Yeah.
He either can do it or he can make a phone call and get it done.
Mm-hmm. Knows where to.
Oh, yeah, that's it. We're going to talk about shoe towing here. Got Perfect Reflections?
Yeah, Perfect Reflections, 651 Black Creek Road. You got Mr. Mike Maddox. He's the owner.
That's right. A complete paint job at a body shop.
Right.
Now.
And he has his own car show in the shop, too.
He does. That's pretty cool.
And that's at 841-1034, Perfect Reflections Body Shop.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take our last break of the day here at DragRace Central, Superstation 101. Welcome back in. The last break. Deidra here is at 7:49, and it's daylight.
I know.
By gosh, I come to work early, don't I?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to need a nap about 11.
Well, I went to bed pretty early last night, so I actually survived it. Now, if Landon comes down, he'll get to talking, and, about 10:30, he's going to fix something to eat. And by the time, he'll get me wound up, and I won't sleep. But I did sleep some last night.
Well, I did the thing, where you wake up thinking, oh, my alarm didn't go off.
I woke up at 2:30 this morning. Then I woke up at 4:17.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And I thought, is that 6:17? And I promise, waking up when the show is already on is bad because I should be doing the show. This is bad. We're going to talk about Shaw Building Supply, 631-8696 there in Mount Olive Road. You can give him a call if you need some building material. The Home Place, 2 locations to serve you, Pinson Valley Parkway and in Warrior. Go by. Went by the other night, and there was a bunch of the homes missing. So they got free delivery within 100 miles.
Wow.
So they're moving some things out.
That's good.
We talked about Joey was on Power Nation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of things. I hadn't heard the music this morning, Deidra, but I can't resist it. It's Christmas time. It's December, and it's how about a little acapella? I'm cruising to the mall with a fun girl by my side, hoping that my good girlfriend don't see us out tonight. How about that? That's scary. Then it goes big block cars, traction bars, fun girls go all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a hot rod Chevrolet. Hey.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that bad?
I think we had a couple of callers online, but it looks like the phones are clear now.
You'll need to wait. Streetcars on the prowl, looking for a race, hoping the next one doesn't put me in my place.
Oh.
Big block cars, traction bars, fun girls go all the way. I'm sorry. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse. No, and not a one-horse, in a hopped-up Chevrolet. Some of the things when you're younger, that's kind of the way they go. But as you age, things change. This is the way it goes when you're older. I'm limping through the mall with Momo by my side, hoping that her bargains don't keep me up late tonight. And then it kind of goes like this. I'm easing home from the mall, and 2 racers start to pass. I kick it in the passing gears to show them punk kids. I can't believe them kids are on out doing this. I just can't believe. Do they who they messing with? I'm faster than they are. Big block cars, traction bars, fun girls go all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a hopped-up Chevrolet. Hey!
Oh, Lord, I left my disguise at home.
That's just not right, is it?
Oh, this will be available on iTunes very soon.
Never.
Under the free section.
Well, there has to be an old guy and a young guy and an old guy version. Well, Deidra, I made mention of the Fun Girls. Well, we were bad in our early life that, we had a girlfriend, nice, you go meet their parents, you talk to their parents, and you eat supper with them. You do it. But, they had to be home at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and you did that. Then we had a Fun Girl girlfriend that she could stay out all night, so we went and picked her up. We'd go street races.
Second shift.
It's what it is. Like I said, I should never run for Senate.
No.
Or Chief Justice. This is going to be bad.
No. No. Or you could take the approach of putting it all out there, the honest politician.
Did you do that? Well, yeah, I did that.
Yeah. Heck yeah. You want to see pictures?
We didn't have, we had photos at the time.
Yeah.
I like, our president now, somebody asked him, somebody accused him of something. He said, well, I don't know her. I don't know. And they said, well, let me show you a picture.
Yeah.
They showed her a picture and said, you can believe I didn't do that.
Here you are
No.
walking into the hotel together, and this is when you left.
I said, no, she ugly. I didn't do that. That's a real guy answer, ain't it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about, you got the December 16th, you got a car show?
It's a car show, but I was contacted yesterday by 80s, ADYS Racers.
ADS,
ADYS.
Huh.
And it's an organization that supports children with autism and special needs. And they put on an event called the 80s Racers. And what they do is they have race cars. And for children that never get to experience, coming to a track or being around cars and stuff like that, because of their special needs or their disability, they become racers for the day. So, yeah, it's their day. It's their time to shine. They're going to be in a race car, and they selected 20 cars for the kids to ride in, and they called me and asked me to be one of the race cars.
Don't go wide open with a challenge kid in there. You scare him to death. You scare me to death.
We all went through this last night when I told
you got
the
to
fam.
be careful.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. And I'm like, look, I can torture my own kids any day of the week. I'm going to take it slow and easy.
Don't want to scare them.
I'm not going to scare them. We're going to, pace the cars, and we're going to drive. And I'll be driving all day, which I've been out on the track as a pace car out at Barber's, for hours and hours before. And even at 80, 90 miles an hour, you could practically go it's so smooth. You can just go to, when to hit the curves and the, what do you call it? The concave and
chicane.
Yeah, whatever it's called, where you hit the curves and all that stuff. I mean, it's just so peaceful. Unlike racing,
and there's nothing out there to hit except there's nobody will pull out in front of you. It's a safe environment, very controlled.
And that's driving the track, and I've done that a million times. But the one time I raced the track, oh, you better have all eyes open. Have you ever done a road course?
No, I haven't.
Okay, round track is that's different. Drag racing's different. But when you're out there in your car, it's somebody like me that's I'm making payments. This is my
your ride.
Yeah, and I'm out there and we're racing, and you've got 40 other cars, and you're hitting 120 miles an hour, and you're hitting curves and hills and banks and turns and all this stuff. Cars are spinning out left and right. You got one on your bumper trying to pass you. You're passing the car in front of you. They're blocking you. Somebody's trying to come around. Here comes a curve. Here comes the braking. So I'm out there, and all of a sudden I start smelling a burning smell. And on soft compound tires on a track like that, it just eats the tires up. And they have these things called marbles. And the marbles come off the tires, which is hot rubber.
Sure.
And if you don't stay in the groove, you pick up these marbles on your tires. And it eventually just eats your tires away. So you smell burning rubber the whole time. So I smell burning rubber, and, we have to have the car teched when you're racing. And Jason checked the car before we went out on the track and everything. So I'm racing. I forgot how long we're racing, and it just gets worse and worse. The car's getting squirrely, getting where I can't handle it. Like I said, at 120, you don't break loose from the pack. You're in the pack. It's ride or die.
Hey, they have an IT class out there. You know what that is?
What?
Intentional touching.
Yeah. Yeah, but
not in my car. No,
not the one I have to pay for. But so eventually I get to pit. Eventually, because I'm like losing control and stuff. And so I pull in, and Jason says, I said, something's burning, something's wrong. And he said, "Oh, that's just the brakes. You burnt the brakes off of them." I said, "I thought you checked everything." He said, "I did. They had some cheap AutoZone brakes on it. I was just going to replace them after the fact." Okay, I said, "I'm done. I'm not going back on the track. I'm not riding in the death machine anymore."
Well, it was funny. I worked for Napa for a long time, and these guys come in. I want some brakes, and the brakes. There's multiple levels. One of them are $69, and one's $49, and one's $14. And he said, "Give me them $14 ones."
Yeah, that was probably what was on the car.
I said, "You're driving a $70,000 Escalade, and you want $14 brakes? Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, okay, give me them good ones."
yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
It was skimp on the brakes. And how many times out of 100 should you stop if you drive? I'm thinking every time. Every time that whether or not it'll crank, actually won't kill you, but whether or not it'll stop will kill you.
Well, in my situation, and when you're doing a road course, especially one like Barber's, it's brakes on, brakes off, brakes on, brakes. I mean, just, when you hit the curves, you have the signage to tell you, I guess, the grades as you're going down.
It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
To give you some distance.
Yeah, and it's telling you that you're going to have to start braking. And then you've got, 40 other cars, and, they're slamming on the brakes.
Attention.
Yeah. And so when you're out there on the $14.99 AutoZone brakes, which I had no idea that was what was on there, you fear for your life.
They will fade. Hey, look at
They were gone.
here. It is 7:58 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. What is for breakfast?
I have no idea.
I'm buying.
You're buying. Okay. Where do you want to go?
I'm thinking this morning could be Ken's barbecue.
Is that where all the hot girls are at? Or just me?
They want some. Yeah, you can be hot as you want to. They got food over there. I'm to a point.
They got some good home cooking.
Hey, I'm to a point in my life I'd rather have some food. They said, "Are you fooling around with that woman?" I don't know what kind of car she got. That's how bad it is. Hey, we've had another great. And Deidra, I appreciate you coming in, standing in for Landon today. We'll be back next week here on Drag Race Central, Superstation 101.